McBuster says, Gabe Hoffman is making Nick nervous. He tried to do damage control and say the nanny gave the kids alcohol. He knew Gabe was sniffing around. Oh, my God. Interesting you bring that up, McBuster. He is losing his fucking mind over this Gabe Hoffman thing. This Gabe Hoffman thing has him nervous. He's doing the thing that guilty people do, and he's trying to guess what it is. He's trying to make a guess as to what the thing Gabe Hoffman has is. And so he's just naming shit. And it's not necessarily the shit Gabe's going to come out with. So, I mean, if you try to get ahead of something, you usually are trying to get ahead of something you're guilty of to allow it proper context, right? You're usually, if you're not guilty of something, you don't get ahead of something you didn't do. Like if someone goes, hey, documentary's about to drop that says I'm a child predator. I'm not one. You don't need, just let the thing come out and then deny it. When you try to get out ahead of something, it's because you're guilty. But you're maybe not guilty in the way they're saying you're guilty. Like, look, they're going to come out in this thing and they're going to say this. The truth of it is blah, 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 blah. So Nick's out there just going, I mean, and he's getting really specific. So anything Gabe says that's not related to that, it just makes you look really fucking guilty. So yesterday he's out there, he's on his stream and he's going, Gabe Hoffman's going to do a show on Keanu's channel, which, by the way, good job, retard. Promote the fucking thing. Oh, my God. Gabe Hoffman's going to be out there doing a show on Keanu's channel, and he's going to say that I abuse my kids and I abuse my family. And it's like, okay. He's like, I never did that. I didn't do it. I did not hit them. I did not. Oh, hi, Gabe. You don't need to get ahead of that. You just need, he comes out with it and you go, he's lying. I never did that. The problem is I'm guessing Gabe's got receipts. I don't know what Gabe has, but he's an investigative reporter. He's not going to go live without having something. I'm guessing he's got receipts, and Nick's trying to say, who are you going to believe, those receipts or me? And like, naturally, the receipts, right? So he's trying to get ahead of this thing, but then he starts getting really specific, and he goes, they're going to come out and say, he said this, he goes, they're going to come out and say that I choke slammed my son at the chiropractor. Because somebody in a report claimed that I choke slammed my kid at the chiropractor. Now, I don't think anybody said he choke slammed his kid. I'm guessing somebody probably said they saw him put the hand on his kid's neck up against the wall or something like that. But first of all, Nick, if someone said that happened, what motivation did they have to lie? Because that puts them in a really weird, it's a weird spot where now you have to invest time and energy to go talk to people and tell them that. Who's going to do that? Who's going to just make that up? I'm sorry, but even in the bullshit that got put out there in that HRO thing, that April bullshit, even with that, I was like, hey, we had a fight. We got really close to each other. I didn't hit her. I didn't squeeze her, choke her, headbutt her, anything. But there was a fight, and we did get really close. We were screaming at each other. Yeah, a fight happened. Something happened. Where there's smoke, there's fire. You don't come out and say, oh, none of that ever happened. It was all made up out of whole cloth. That makes you look like a liar. When you come out and get ahead of something and go, hey, this thing that people claim they saw and that multiple people have backed up, well, me, the person who's accused of doing that thing, I say it never happened. Not like they had it wrong or here was the context or here's what actually happened. Just made it up out of whole cloth. You don't look believable. So him trying to get ahead of this thing. Now, what if Gabe Hoffman comes with accusations where he's like, hey, I didn't know about the choke slamming thing at the chiropractor, but okay, we'll add that one to the list too. He doesn't handle being rattled very well. And he's very, very rattled. And he tells on himself constantly telling on himself. I wonder what all these Baldo washers and sweepers are going to do once this all comes out. Like, are they going to continue to stick their heads in the sand? Are they going to continue to pretend it's not happening? I got bad news for you guys. He doesn't have any money and clout anymore. He can't help you. So when he's caught doing something evil and sinister for like the 8th time, how retarded are you going to make yourself look by standing up for the guy? You can have a set of balls and you can speak up. I'm proof that it's possible. Keanu's proof that it's possible. April fucking pieced out and got the hell out of there. It's possible to distance yourself from this fucking ticking time bomb. Yeah, they're going to say, like, imagine that. Imagine going, they're going to say I choke slammed my kid at the chiropractor. Nobody knows if he's going to say that or not. Nobody knows that that's going to be part of the report. It's just Nick telling on himself and telling us stuff that's apparently sealed and we can't see, but he knows exists. And think about this, that lion sack of shit. If he's willing to admit that that exists, how much other shit is out there that he doesn't want us to know exists? Those are some interesting stories. You notice he's been trying to frame the nanny as this terrible person. Now I can say Cheney is a goddamn sweetheart. Cheney is one of the nicest people in the world. I will say this comfortably. If the kid, if it is who I think it is, that's accusing Cheney of this stuff, they're lying just so they can get some of daddy's attention, and that's a fucking problem, and you need to address that, and you need to take care of it, because once kids start showing signs of that, that could lead to a lot of problems later in life. Because, first of all, a nanny on a fixed income is not going to throw out hundreds of dollars for kids to drink Red Bulls or whatever the fuck it is. And she certainly didn't give the kids booze. I mean, that's just utterly retarded. So he's trying to set the nanny up for this fall. I got news for you. I believe, based on what I know, that if there is a chokeslam story out there, it ain't the nanny who reported it. So he's trying to set the, oh yeah, the nanny said that this happened. I don't think so. I think it might have been somebody else. But if somebody's got this big interview coming up with Keanu, Gabe Hoffman has never said what it's about. But now all of a sudden, Nick comes out and goes, I have a big-brained idea. Now, every time in his life Nick's ever had a big-brained idea, someone should have sat him down and go, why don't you just let this one pass, Big Shoots, and just not say anything? But Nick, being his own worst enemy as a PR guy, goes, nope. I've half-baked this in my brain. It sounded good to the Swiss cheese Coke holes that I've got in my brain and the nitrous fog that I've got in my head. This is going to sound good. Gabe Hoffman's going to say, I beat my kids. I didn't. Well, then why is he going to say it? Because this isn't a guy with a personal beef against you. This isn't a guy with an axe to grind. It's an investigative journalist. He's going to say, I chokeslammed my son at the chiropractor. Why would he say that? Because people said they saw me choke slam my kid at the chiropractor. It's like, what the fuck? Why did they say they saw that? I don't know. They're totally making it up. Yeah, because people do that all the time. They just go, hey, I just saw this guy. He choke slammed his kid. Tee-hee-hee, April Fools. Sorry, buddy, but you're not doing yourself any favors. And plus you have this history of telling on yourself in moments like this. I mean, a lot of the things that you denied back in the day turned out to be true. So you don't have the most sterling. All I can say is Nick is making me very excited for this Keanu Gabe Hoffman thing tomorrow night. Oh boy, is it a building. It's a fever pitch. And we got 2 full days of Nick Rekieta streams where he can cut promos and seethe over it. So Gabe's going to get huge promotion for this deal. I've just never seen someone who isn't abusive come out with specific instances of abuse and say, it never happened, it happened out of whole cloth. I've seen people who are not abusive, who there's been like 2 accounts of a story, and it's like, okay, well, that makes sense. There's 2 sides. But never like, hey, you did this very specific abusive thing, and then going, nah. Bro, that sounds more like OJ than Johnny Depp. So the fact that Gabe, I mean, it would be funny if Gabe's stuff had nothing to do with that. But now Gabe knows about this, so he calls that chiropractor's office, and he's like, you guys know anything about somebody choke slamming a kid? And they're like, Oh, yeah, that one time that scrawny AIDSy dad pushed his kid up against a wall by the neck. Yeah, no, I remember that. I remember that now. Like, Nick just gave Gabe a new free story. Like, Gabe was looking into other shit. And now he's like, oh, really? Hold on a minute. Hold on. Choke slammed a kid at a chiropractor. Interesting. There's also these really little ways that Nick lies that, like, to us adults look retarded, but to him, he thinks is highbrow shit. He uses words like choke slammed. Like, none of us think you fucking goozled a kid, draped his arm over, and picked him up and choke slammed him. Bro, you couldn't lift a bag of softener salt. So we're not thinking you actually So when the whole story comes out and it's like he held his kid up against a wall by the neck, you'll go, see, it wasn't a choke slam. It's like, you know you're retarded, right? You don't. You don't. Sam Show says at this point you can just make shit up and it'll stick because he lies so fucking much. Right? McBuster says, did Nick abuse Cheney too? No. Not that she's ever told me or not that I ever saw. Nick didn't give a shit about Cheney. Cheney was doing the thing that he desperately didn't want to do, and that's interact with his children. I mean, unless you needed to choke slam somebody at a chiropractor, Cheney didn't want to do that. So she left that to Nick. But no, Nick didn't. Abuse Cheney in the sense that she worked in a fucking pigsty and had to take care of kids who had basically no parenting from their father. Yeah. And then I guess abused Cheney in terms of the work he asked her to do. I mean, she took on a Herculean task of, basically parenting for an absentee cokehead dumb